G'day, welcome to the series on dealing with debtor excuses. This is a course offered by ICAN and we deal with the top 10 excuses encountered by debt collection agents in South Africa. We hope you enjoy it. My name is Craig Null and today we're going to talk about sequestration. By now you know that we love our quotations. This is a popular one for us and it guides our training method. And it basically says, without knowledge, action is useless. And knowledge without action is futile. We urge all the viewers watching this recording, if you're a supervisor or manager, encourage your call center agents to, on a daily basis, do role plays where they go through the objections and then work through it. Because that is how you get better, and that's how we improve consistently. So that's very important, so that this information that you've just gathered now, or the knowledge that you've just gained, is not a waste of time. So listed here are the learning outcomes. The obvious ones, obviously, for you to understand what sequestration is, and I think most importantly, it's to be as prepared as possible to deal with the debtor when they do raise this as an excuse for non-payment. So let's start by asking, what is sequestration? It's a legal process that involves insolvent debtors. Basically, they apply to court, enabled by a certain piece of legislation known as the Insolvency Act of 1936. One of the outcomes is the debt is written off, but the debtor's assets are sold and the proceeds are used to pay off the debt. So this is quite serious. If you look at the other remedies available to a debtor, which includes debt review or administration order, this one is quite extreme. But like the others, the debtor, once the debt has been paid, they can apply for rehabilitation. The sequestration process is quite involved. The High Court is involved in most instances, so there needs to be an advocate, and already you can assume that there's going to be quite a bit of significant amount of cost associated with this. Basically the debtor needs an insolvency practitioner to assess their financial situation, and this is basically to avoid that people come up, looking for these remedies to find quick ways out of their debt. The practitioner will then obviously notify all the creditors via the government gazette, and once the debtor receives the sequestration order, the curator will be appointed to manage the financial affairs, and that's where, especially obviously now that it's an insolvent estate, and you'll see on a lot of the credit applications, they will always ask you, have you ever been declared insolvent? And that's basically what it means. This process can take up to 34 months, so you'll see later on, it's not only a very expensive process, it's very invasive, it's intrusive, and you as a debtor, you basically lose all your assets to settle your debt. So if a debtor raises this as an excuse, just be mindful, due to the time period and the level of legal expertise involved, you should be prepared to ask them quite tough questions to understand if they're really honest with you or whether they're just using this as an excuse. It is essential that as an agent you understand the positive and negative consequences for debtors who opt for this as a remedy to get out of solve the over-indebted issues. We obviously advise you that you're not necessarily be the best suited to advise them, but especially in the instance where the debtor is still unsure and they kind of just throwing ideas in the air, and that would be an opportunity to say, look, this is kind of what we know about the process, the cost, the time, and and there's some significant consequences, and use that as an opportunity to encourage them to rather make a payment arrangement with you and settle their debt. The negative consequences: basically, they cannot open close corps or businesses, they cannot become company directors or set up trust accounts or get further credit. So it's quite problematic, especially if you're dealing with entrepreneurs or small business owners. And it will result in the loss of their property and the sale of their movable assets to settle debt. So this is, it goes without saying, quite negative. So let's talk about some of the positive effects of sequestration. So no interest is applicable. Charges already obtained by the creditor against the debtor will also be included in the sequestration order. Garnishee orders obtained by the creditor will cease operation. So this will override those garnishee orders. No collection activity, so you can't demand any payments if the person is already declared insolvent. And then the debtor's future income is protected by preventing creditors from attaching their using or executing a garnishee order. So these are quite helpful, positive effects. So that is quite expensive, and for this process, and obviously you can read between the lines if advocates are involved or other professionals. This might be even more significant. Another important thing, the debtor must remain employed. So that is an important kind of requirement in this process as well. And next we go through some practical tips for collection agents. We also remind you, this is standard in our training, that it's highly unlikely that if you're working for a collection agency, that the account will be handed over by your clients. If you're working for a lender, that once the lender's been notified, that it'll be handed over to the collections department. So just be mindful of that when they do use this as an excuse. There might be timing issues, but considering how long this process takes, as discussed earlier on, it's highly unlikely. It also, remember, the debtor might be in the process of applying. They might not have any ruling or court orders. So it's essential to ask the right questions. Do not accept excuses that they give you, especially this on face value. Okay, so it's ask the right questions. Do not accept this as an excuse. So as usual, we give you the normal tips, and again, obviously, if they raise that as an excuse, thank them for sharing that information with you. But then you go through a series of questions. For example, have you approached a sequestration practitioner? If they say no, then you continue negotiating. Has it been published in the government gazette? Because those are the processes, as we've already discussed with you earlier on. Was the court order granted? If you're a collection agent, did the lender contact you? Did they close your accounts? And if they can't answer any of these guys, please, let's just move on with that. Be assertive, and then get a payment arrangement from the debtor. Unless, and because I promise you, they will very quickly run. If you're the lender, to your customer service department, and make sure they have the court order on hand. And they will definitely also, if you're an external debt collector, they will notify your clients very quickly, because normally how it works, they will be sending SMSs, emails, and making calls. So I'd say, guys, just be vigilant in this regard. Okay, there's an opportunity either online. Feel free to submit questions, comments, or email us. Our information is available. It's been a pleasure to present to you. and we look forward to engaging with you in future. My name is Craig now, and I'm contacting you from a company called